Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Matt. Me. And hey, Filler. You were almost first today. Almost. All right. Adam is going to add achievements to Skeleseller today. Yesterday, he worked on the foundation, but he only made test achievements. Now it's time for the real deal. Okay, cool. So I think the first thing we should do is figure out what the achievements are going to be. And I have some ideas, and I don't think these need to be like super creative or anything. I think the pacing needs to be good though. So let's just write design here. All right, what are we writing? Achievement ideas. So important stuff. Achievements should be spaced out well enough from each other. I think an achievement for beating every boss is fine, but an achievement for completing each quest would be too much. I'm trying. I'll make it one day. Well, there is the redeem. If you can get the redeem, then you've provably gotten first. Only one person can get that. Hey, Rin Marie. What's up? Learning Colmac. Any suggestions? I have this video I did on when I was learning it. And I suggest watching that and just kind of taking what you will from it. I think I had a little bit of an identity crisis as I was learning Colmac. The other thing I guess I would say is that it's like figure out why you're learning it. Is it for speed? Is it for ergonomics? Is it for, I don't know, any other number of reasons? Because in the end, I don't think learning Colmac was really worth it for me. So like I could have just bypassed 2 or 3 years of typing wars. Just stuck to QWERTY. All right, so concrete achievements. All right, so beat each boss. And what do we have? 8 bosses? Let me just look at the map. It's probably easier. You were a better humble and better first. Ah, yes. All right, new game. I just wanted to see how many bosses we have because I forgot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. Okay, so that'd be 8 achievements. Then I wrote some ideas down yesterday, right? Yeah, here they are. Intro achievement. You died. Or die. How do they, I need to look into how they phrase achievements in other games. See how they phrase achievements in other games. Is it a verb? Like die? A description like you died? Or a noun like death? Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Although that I think is pretty easy to do. So yeah, I think one during the intro, and I think the description, you'd have to actually watch the intro for this to happen. Have to actually watch the intro for this to happen. This means that the achievement system would need to live outside of the town. Yeah, that's probably pretty reasonable. Getting really addicted to the whole 3-finger swipe just to slide between windows. There was a power toy for virtual desktops. I think it's baked into Windows now, but there should be something kind of similar to it on Windows. If not through a power toy, then just on Windows directly. This one's a little bit difficult to do, I think. Yeah, I think this is pretty decent. All right, so getting a certain amount of wisdom sludge. Maybe like reaching level 20 on an adventurer. Reaching level 20 on all adventurers. This has to be in story mode. Beat each boss in story mode. Just don't have it ingrained. Windows shortcuts are kind of clunky. Yeah. Yeah, I never liked different workspaces. I don't know what it was about them. Oh, I know what it was, actually. It's because whenever I wanted to switch windows in between workspaces, it would become annoying. Like, every once in a while, I'd have a document in, like, workspace 1 and then something else in workspace 2, and I'd have to swap them temporarily, and then the workspaces wouldn't be defined as well anymore. I'd rather just manage windows, I think. Certain coworker would have their collection completely empty. Uh-oh. Hey, Kevin. Oh, Rin, I don't know if you saw my suggestion to you. Why is it not working? Slightly earlier in the VOD when you asked. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I love it, but only when I have multiple monitors. Yeah, I think I still just prefer individual windows. I think the other thing is, in terms of number of applications I have open at any time, it's typically like a note-taking application, a browser, a code editor, and then in the case of streaming, I've got OBS open in chat. But I mean, those aren't like a normal workflow for people. And then what else do I tend to use? Yeah, maybe like a Finder sort of thing. Every once in a while, the game. Is the demo out? Oh, the demo's been out for almost a year, I think. So yeah, you could try it out if you want. Control, Windows key, left arrow, right arrow, clunky. I don't think that's too clunky, but yeah, well, I guess you can always make an auto hotkey or something. If you have a numpad, especially, you could do something like Windows key plus like numpad X. And, you know, maybe it's like 1 or 2 or 3, or you use the arrows or something, or like use F12 on your keyboard for something else. Oh, just drop some feedback in Discord regarding the gamepad. Overall feels uncomfortable, but still playable. Grade of C-. Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. I will take a look at that. I think that there are some things we could probably do to make it a little bit better, but I don't want to re-envision everything from scratch. So it's probably still going to be sort of clunky for most users. So I think we'll just list it as partial support on Steam. All right, getting various amounts of money, getting various amounts of total money in story mode. These, I actually don't know when these would happen. That's the problem. So we could come up with numbers here like 1,000 gold and 5,000 gold and 25,000 gold. But are these going to be timed with you like beating a boss and then you get 2 different achievements at the same time? Or should we make them larger numbers? I think that's one of the issues. Should we even have an achievement for beating all the bosses? We definitely need one for the first one. We probably need one for the last one. Completing a quest. The other thing too is these could potentially pollute the understanding of the game. Imagine if when you complete a quest, there's an in-game notification that says you got a new worker, and then in the upper right it says like completed quest. It also probably has to say you got a new worker. Otherwise, you might miss the notification in game and be like, oh, I completed a quest, but what did that do for me? In fact, I'm not even certain I want to do this for your first quest. Your first quest. I want to be careful with this since it's how you get a new worker. So the achievement needs to communicate this too. And then fun achievements. These are the ones that are like out there, like feed the garbage slime a crop. Beat the game without building the armor shop. Max out all the dud perks. Click 40 apples. Yeah, click 50 apples. Click the developer in town. They'll never know. All right, so the various amounts of money bit. I should probably test the pacing of this out. 1,000 gold. How much does it take to do the first bits of stuff? So the town hall is 10 gold. Auto battle is 10 gold. Your second adventurer is 35 gold. The canyon is 35 gold. The garbage slime is 1 gold. So far we're up to 91 gold. What else do you spend money on in the beginning? Maybe like a perk or two. Might be like 75 more gold. So to get to your first 1,000, definitely doesn't happen before the first boss. Not for most people. Yeah, I think 1,000 is probably a good starting point. And yeah, might as well just do this. 5,000, 25,000. This one maybe we make harder, but we're multiplying by 5 each time. And I guess we make the final one. I need to know how much gold you get over the course of the entire game. I don't know what that would be. We have the values printing out somewhere though. If I just go turn that on, like we go into main, I go to ready or wherever this is. All item data, I think. Has some debug. No, it's not in here. I don't know where I put this. All instance data. Aha, there it is. Okay, so we print this from here. All instance data. Print. So this will tell us how much money you get on average from each location without any bonuses, like no tips, no shiny loot. And I'm just using it as an approximate anyway. 1,800. Okay, that's more than I thought. So 1,800 times 1.35, 2,400. There's probably a little bit more of a bonus on top of that. So it's maybe like 2,500. So toward the end of the game, 2,500 per instance. And if you play for, I don't know, 30 minutes or something, you'd probably get this at least 30 times. So times, I don't know, 30, 75,000. And then we probably make it a little bit more. So maybe 100,000. And yeah, maybe we make the final one like 200,000 gold. Final one being 100 million. Yeah, I don't know how long this will take to get, but I want to keep an eye on that. And maybe as a result, then we make this one be like 50,000. And then maybe 250,000. I don't know. We can always change the numbers. All right, beating scenarios in bone mode. I think beating your first scenario, and maybe the 10th scenario and the 20th scenario. I think that'd be nice. Completing your first quest, completing the final quest. This one I don't really care about too much. It is kind of nice to signal to you that you got the final thing. Maybe also just hiring all the adventurers. All of the adventurers in story mode. The in story mode is assumed for quite a lot of this. All right, anything else? How many do we have listed so far? 1, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, that's not bad. We can just start with that. Purchasing all buildings or perks. Actually, yeah, maxing out every single perk might be interesting. Maxing out every perk in story mode. The buildings I don't think I care about as much. In fact, I think it would feel a little hollow to know, oh, I got all the buildings. There's not going to be anything else. So I don't think we should announce that. But for the perks, I think we could. And yeah, maybe something for getting wisdom sludge. No, that's kind of there by getting to certain levels of adventurers. All right, so are there any other like zany ones I had written down that I definitely want to do? Because these are sort of like challenges. I think we can just add them in later. Don't forget that some achievements can be based on progress that is saved on Steam, so you can do stuff between different game sessions, like absurd amounts of gold. Yeah. I think this is a good starting point, though. Because, yeah, we could have something like get 1 million gold and you eventually get it. But, yeah, I guess I should write that this is like in one session, in one save file. All right, so the first thing I wanted to do is look into how do we add these on Steam so that I don't need to keep typing them in. Do I not have that written down? Yeah, I want to automate adding these if I can. Look into how to automate adding achievements on Steam so that I can have the same set on both the playtest and full versions of the game just by running a script. I imagine this is pretty easy to do, but I probably need some token for it, and I might not want to do that on stream. Steamworks API? Is that a thing? Let me look at this off screen really quickly. It is a thing. I wonder if someone's already made a tool for this, like some kind of achievement manager. Because I could just use the UI and type everything in, but I have to type it in 2 different locations, and I need to keep them in sync with each other. Have Mushy revive 100 times. Yeah, that's actually a good point. We could have some special ones in the future like that. I think these will naturally happen just by using the character. So maybe it'd be like have Mushy kill X fish in a solo battle. Die to the first boss. It's technically not even possible. Oh, I guess it is if you have only one adventurer. But yeah. Yeah, I made it impossible to lose if you have 2 adventurers, I remember. Okay, yeah, so how does this work? Or do they have a console I can use or something? Like Steamworks automate adding achievements? Adding it with the Godot Steam plugin? Oh, this is not adding it. This is achieving them. This is handled automatically by the API. Steam needs to be open, but you don't need to be connected to the internet. Yeah, so I can write this down over here. I still want to test this myself, but yeah. Yeah, according to this, Steam does this for you. I don't see anything obvious here for this. I mean, maybe we just wrap the API and then just write our own tool for this. Is there even an API for adding an achievement? You'd need to publish this anyway, right? All right, anyway, allows your game to take full advantage of Steam by accessing all the underlying systems. Includes things like pausing your game. This is not what I want. I want an API to the back end. Is that a thing? Backend API? I don't even know if this, I don't think this is a thing. Really? Huh. Well, where's what I wrote down about achievements? Like a REST API? Yeah, yeah. Or I don't know, a console program that they made or something like that. What am I even using? I'm using something for uploading builds. What am I doing for that? Release tool. Upload to Steam. Where's upload to Steam? There it is. Upload to Steam. How does this work? Steam CMD executable. Steam CMD. Okay, what can this thing do? Install and update dedicated servers for Steam games. It can do more than that. Is there like better documentation for this? Hey, Xyletix. Hey, 5Cats owner. I don't think it can do that. Man, I mean, this isn't that bad. I could just type them in. I thought there'd be an easier way of doing this. Can I copy them between games? Because even if I could just do that, that'd be fine. Achievement overview. Define and update your game's achievements. Refer to the API overview. Wait, whoa. What is this? What is this page? Is this what I want? Does this mention achievements on here anywhere?
Whoops.
Well, what I just do? I don't know what I just did. I can't search anymore for some reason. Huh, that's strange. Oh, the browser is just gigantic? Oh. Steamworks SDK is only required to upload this. Range of features. Yeah, this sounds like what I want. There's an overview here. Let me just search for that, I guess. Steamworks API. Add achievement. Is this a thing? I don't know why it's taking me this many searches to try to find it. Step-by-step achievements. This is not the API way of doing things. Do they even mention an API? No, they have a reference. That's kind of nice. Maybe we can find it through here. Achievement. Oh, nice. Functions to allow game servers to set stats and achievements. That's for the game server, though. Provides functions for accessing and submitting. Yeah, maybe this. Oh, I think I know what this is. This is for your game to use still. Yeah, this is not what I want exactly. Huh. I'm surprised about that. Has no one else run into this issue before? Where they have a playtest version and they want the same achievements on their full game? Do they just manually type them all in and then fix all the images whenever they upload images? It just seems so tedious. All right, let's try something really fast here. Let's ask OpenAI. Let's see. Let's see if this can help me at all. I am making a Steam game and want to add achievements for the various flavors of the game. Well, playtest and full versions of the game. This set of achievements should always be in sync with each other. As a result, I'd like an API that lets me set all of the achievements on the Steam backend. Does this API... Whoops. Hey, hard worker. Yes, but only partially, and not the way you're probably hoping. What doesn't exist doesn't provide an API endpoint that lets you set your achievement definitions in bulk. This means you must define them through the UI. There's no official bulk API. Really? Really? Hey, Pretzel. Hey, Pickle. Vibe coding? Well, no, just trying to figure out if this thing exists. It apparently doesn't. What sources does this use? Yeah, this is exactly the question I wanted answered. Developing a game with lots of achievements, creating and maintaining them, blah, blah, blah. Is there a way to bulk upload them? No, there's no way. This was 3 years ago, though. Must be done through the web UI, one achievement at a time. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, this was 3 years ago. Maybe it's changed. We could do some more searching for that, like Steam, bulk, add achievements. This is probably the one from 3 years ago. Yeah. Step-by-step achievements. Uploading achievements to Steam is a pain. This was also 3 years ago. You can't just define a list. Importing achievements using the Steam VDF file. What? Is that a thing? Oh, wow. This looks interesting. What is this? Is this for setting or just for getting? To generate the file containing achievement information, do the following. This just says view raw settings. It's not upload raw settings. Well, let me go take a look at that page. Yeah, this is for GOG, but it's using Steamworks, so I assume it's probably the same. I see view raw settings. And can I go to achievements? Yes. Okay, I can, but I can only see them. This is what I have set so far. So this is the playtest version of the game. We have baby's first achievement and then, you know, all the stuff here, icons and whatever. Probably for exporting achievements. Yeah. I think it is for exporting. Like I said, I see a view, but I don't see a set. So I'm guessing this is still not possible after this amount of time. Which, okay, whatever. If it's not possible, it's not possible. So I have to do the only way that is possible. It's kind of unfortunate, but yeah, what are you going to do about it? Okay, fine. All right, achievements on Steam. At least as of 2025, it does not seem possible to bulk add achievements to your game. This makes it tedious to keep achievements in sync between the playtest and full versions of your game. Man, there's no way to even copy them between there, though. That it does seem like a problem. Man. Okay, yeah, I don't think it's possible. All right, well, whatever. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Also, hi, coffee. So let's close out of that stuff and close out of that. And now we have an answer for this, which is rather unfortunate. Now we got to go look into this one, see how to phrase achievements in other games. So let's go look at a couple games, Steam, Terraria, and just look at how they phrase their achievements. View all. Timber, you can do it. Ooh, shiny. Matching a tire. Okay, let's just copy all these down here. How other games name achievements. Excuse me. Are these your notes you take? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so Terraria. We're just going to copy paste a bunch of these and just see what's the most common. It really doesn't matter too much. We can just make up our own thing anyway. But I like to do this. So yeah, you can do it. Let's put these tabs next to each other so it's not as hard to get. Just copy a couple of these. Heartbreaker. Jeepers Creepers. Okay. There are a few. Let's look at Stardew Valley. Hey, Phil. Stardew. Just going to copy a few of these. Fisherman. Treasure Trove. Homesteader. All right, let's look at Factorio. I just want to see if there's any pattern. Like, do gamers expect something certain here? Eco unfriendly. They don't even capitalize all their words here. The other two did. And let's copy another one. Mass production. X is a number. All right, and maybe one other game. Let's go to Risk of Rain 2. Hey, Smash. Advancement. Warrior. And Macho. Okay, so anything in common with all of them? More often than not, they're capitalized. Oh my god, I can't type. Capitalize every word. And yeah, they're more descriptions / nouns than verbs. 100 hidden cats. Wow, what's kind of interesting about this game is that every single achievement is in the same like 1%, well, 1.5% maybe, like 32.7% all the way up to 34.2%. So yeah, exactly 1.5%. So roughly a third of players got each achievement was gotten by roughly a third of players. So I need to phrase that. So they're more descriptions / nouns and verbs. Okay, so now we need to come up with names for these. So name you died. I kind of like phrasing them as verbs. I don't know. Yeah, you died. Description. Died during the intro cutscene. Yeah. Each player can only get 1/3 of the cats at random. There's no way to get all of them? Huh. Okay, so what do we have? Ogre, dragon, enchantress, ugly slime, phoenixes, yeti, killer fly trap, and what I call it, big snake, giant snake. I don't remember which one. You know, Starbron, death is only the beginning. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I do kind of like that too. Big snake. No, that's not the name though. Where is this, the Inferno? And what's the name of this? Giant snake. Yeah, maybe we call it like Bad Adventurer. Broken Dreams. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I like this idea. Thanks for steering me toward that, Melissa. You should get an achievement for working hard and getting to the point where you can worry about adding achievements, Adam. That is quite the achievement. Take care, Pestle. Have a good workout. All right, so Ogre. The first big bad. Description. The description doesn't have to be too clever. We can just say defeat the Ogre. Name. Description. Let's copy these for everything. So I don't need to type these out a bunch. Your final quest. There, okay. Drag on. Okay, I'm actually gonna do that. Defeat the dragon. This we can copy paste. Yep. I probably should have done this in Visual Studio Code so that I could use multiple cursors. It's too late now. And there should have been spaces here. There. Okay, Enchantress. Getting the hang of this. Slime be gone. No, I can't do that. Slime repeller. Ugly slime. Not in my town. I don't like that. Ugly and dead. All right, phoenixes. Yeti. The good and bad only. I'm not sure people would get that. But it's not bad. Yeti. Sasquatched. That's actually pretty good. Okay, I'm keeping that one. Okay, killer fly trap. Weed whacker. Yeah. All right, and giant snake. What does it say when you beat the giant snake? You finally avenge your own death. Bittersweet. I kind of like this, but yeah, I kind of like this. I'm gonna keep that. I reach level 20 on an adventure. Snake in a plane. I reach level 20 on an adventurer. Okay, well, reaching level 20 on all adventurers, we should probably say, like, full-on wisdom sludge. Pull from Wisdom Sludge. Full of wisdom. Reaching level 20 on a single one. Oh yeah, your favorite adventure, like something like that. Get an adventurer to level 20 in story mode. Get all adventurers level 20. So all of these defeat the whatever should probably say, oh, well, I guess you need to do this in story mode. So I think it's fine. We don't need to say anything there. Hey, Krasner. I'm afraid I'll be too mean. Does it have to do with Make It Rainy? So hiring all the adventurers. How about like well connected? Hire all available adventurers. Max out every perk. Completionist. Max every perk in story mode. Had something to do with Botland. I mean, you can share it. That's fine. I'll just ban you. All right. Bones to riches is what we're calling this one. Get 2,500,000 or 250,000 gold. I guess we can write in all the descriptions for these, huh? Get 50,000. Get 1,000. Get 5,000. Tis a start. Your first kilo gold. I kind of like that. More profitable than my previous endeavor. Yes, that is fair. Now ban me. No, I shall not. Let the sword of Damocles hang over you for the rest of your life. Mm, 5,000 gold. Wealthy skeleton. It's not great. 50,000 gold. Hmm. I mean, what we could do is we could cut out one of these achievements. I don't know if we need them for 4 different tiers of getting gold. In fact, yeah, let's cut this out. We can always add more. All right, beating scenarios in bone mode. Bone meal is not bad. Is it one word? No, it's not. Get a taste of bone mode by completing the first scenario. Do we capitalize bone in this case? We probably should. Fully optimized. Complete the 20th scenario of bone mode. Pocket money. that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we could say extra names if we need them. Pocket change for a higher tier of getting gold. Hey, Mike. Bonafide expert. We can even put that on the 10th scenario. How do you capitalize and localize? How do you capitalize and localize languages? You don't. You just don't. You have a person shouting it in the game. Bonafide business. Skelly. How would you write Skelly? Okay. Isn't there a place where they used to show the number of results? Is that at the bottom? Did they not tell you this anymore? When did Google stop doing that? That's strange. I don't remember when they stopped doing that. Does Bing tell you? Bing doesn't tell you either. Huh. Do we want to do skeleton reference? No, I don't think so. All right, completing your first quest in story mode. I'm not alone. Meet another, or like recruit another skeleton worker. Completing the final quest. Hey, Legend. I believe it's in search settings now. It's infinite scroll. Really? Let me go take a look. I don't even know where search settings are. Oh, more settings. Other settings. I don't see it in here. Yeah. Oh well, it's okay. Work to the bone. Well, okay, what I was thinking of phrasing this as is that you've actually completed other skeletons quests. I kind of want to go to that angle, but I'm not totally sure. Like Questaholic or something. I guess I can write the description at least. Complete every quest in story mode. Yeah. Oh, Skeleton Crew. That's good, right? That's what they call when you've only wait, what? Why is it not showing up as like idiom? Yeah. Maybe that's what we do for the first one. Yeah, I like that for the first one. I think Skeleton Crew is good for that. Completing the final quest in story mode. So this is when you have, what, like 7 skeletons or something? What if we just call it 206 to the end? I actually kind of like that. This is a super nerdy one. Yeah. Now let me make sure I'm not being an idiot. Number of bones in human body. Yeah, 206. Okay. Yeah, I like this. I wonder if you can put a carrot in the... You probably can. They probably don't care. All right, feed the garbage slime a crop. What the heck is this? I like that. Seeing the note for the first quest, you want to communicate that is how you get new workers. I think Skeleton Crew is a bit too niche to convey that clearly. No, the description will tell you, though. Recruit another skeleton worker. The name can pretty much be whatever. Although I think Skeleton Crew does make it clear that this is how you got another skeleton. Because if you don't know what this meant, you'd still just be like, oh, I've got more than one skeleton now. But it is a pun. I think this hits every note that I wanted to hit. All right, click 25 apples. I kind of want to reference that you do not even told what apples are. So maybe something like, oh, that's what those are. Description, click 25 apples. Something like that. These I don't know if I want to do for sure. These are just like more ideas. So let's not do these yet. Ideas for future achievements. Yeah, how do you like them apples? That could be good too. Maybe I could say or mushrooms here though. I don't know. We'll see. Something doctor away. Yeah, I'll write alternatives. Something about keeping the doctor away. How do you like them apples? All right, so I think we've got the basics here. I should probably... Well, let's look over them one more time and just make sure that this looks good. Broken Dreams I really like still. The first big bad, Dragon. Getting the hang of this. These couple I don't mind changing. The rest of these I think are pretty nice. I like those. Enchantress. Okay, what other things can we do here? You fight like a shadow army of yourselves. Alternatives. Self-own. I don't know. I don't. Hey, Mahikmar. Good morning, my time. Good evening, your time. Doppelgangers beware. I think I'll leave this one as is for now. I think let's go with Kevin's suggestion here. The good, the bad. That's it. Yeah. How to rise. Okay, I like the rest of those. Your favorite adventurer, full of wisdom, well connected, completionist. Wait, we should probably reference the Skella rap for this. Oh god, I gotta go find the lyrics though. Hang on, let me just, I think I have them on my phone. I don't know where I put it. Skella rap. Huh. Apparently didn't call it Skella rap. Where did I put the lyrics? What? Where is this? Did I put them in the video? Hold on, I definitely don't want to play this on stream. I find it cringy enough. Did I put him in the video? Unfinished business. Oh yeah. Okay, I gotta look this up. Let me see if I can find this. Death can't stop me from making a living. Okay, that probably has to be in there. That was like the best line I've ever written in my life. Hang on, I'm trying to search for this. Death can't. Huh. Oh, there it is. Ah, I called it No April Fool's 2025. I should rename this to Skella Rap. Done. Okay, so lyrics. Yeah, that's actually pretty good for this. Death can't stop me from making a living. Respawns 8 times, it gets smaller every time. We would have had to make the phoenixes that. Rise to the top, gold galore. I'm selling, I'm skelling. I think that's also pretty good. I kind of want to have that here. Yeah. Is there anything else I could pull directly from the rap? No, I think that's it. I only have 2 though. This one should probably be the final one. No, maybe it should be the first one. Raking in cash. I don't like that as much. I think if anything, we'd go with whatever I had, Bones to Riches. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, I like this. I think this is a little bit better. I'm actually Magellan. Turns out that's who I was before I died. Okay, Bone Meal, Bonafide Business Skelly, fully optimized. Skeleton Crew, 206 to the end. I like that. What the heck is this? Yeah, okay. All right, this is pretty good. Wow, that was a surprising amount of work just to come up with what the achievements even should be. Now we got to go code them all. Well, actually, we need icons for them now. Yeah, and then we code them all. Okay, so make icons for each achievement, and then code the achievements, add the achievements on Steam, and write a note to add the achievements for the full version of the game after we've tested these. All right, icons. So we start with this, you died. We have all the main icons here. I don't think any of these will probably represent dying all that well. I mean, we could always do something like this. Yeah, let's just write some ideas for which ones are close. Close call, not too bad. Remember, this is representing your character dying. That's pretty good for the earning a lot of money ones. Yeah. Employee discount. So you died, could be close call. This could be for the earning money ones. It actually kind of looks like a death one because it's a cloak with wings. Looks like the Grim Reaper to me. I don't think there's a better one for that. And we can make custom ones. Ooh, nice. We have a snake one. Yeah, or Zombie Legion. Either one of those could work. Can we get a scale 1 through 5 through 1 for nostalgic effect? No, I want to be careful about references to things that no one's reasonably expected to get or ever find out about. All right, so let's do a vote. Where's close call? There it is, yeah. Oh. All right, so here's the vote. Can I put these side by side somehow? I don't know how to do that. All right, so let's just put them side by side like this. So icon 1, icon 2, open with Chrome. All right, which one should be the you died icon for the achievement, left or right? And this doesn't need to be the permanent one, just which one looks better for now. 1 vote for left. 2 votes for left. That one came in on YouTube. The first, but it's Skeleton Boney. Left, hey, caffeinated coder. None should be one with bones. I mean, ideally, yes, but were there ones with bones that I missed? I looked through every icon. I mean, there's cloning, but we would use that for a different one. There's this, which we'll use for selling stuff. Yeah, I think we'll just go with the one on the left for now. But like I said, we can get custom icons for these if we want to. I just want to cut down on the art burden, and I don't really think people care too much about... Oh, that could work. Or that. That's probably the best. Yeah, that's probably the best. Okay, never mind. Sorry for having you take a vote and then ignoring it. Fatal Strike looks like dying. Yeah, that's true too. I guess anything with... I kind of like this one the best. I think I'm going to go with this. Yeah, because you did die to poison too. So this is perfect. Okay. Well, we'll probably do votes on other ones that are not as clear. But yeah, I did not realize that. So thank you for making me look again, Kevin. So icon is going to be the poisonous skin icon. I think that's what that is. I know it says poisonous skin. I just want to make sure that's what we use it for in the game because I'm going to... Oh, and hey, Noah. Oh, I already probably said hi. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I just read your message. I didn't say hi. All right, so unlock all things, and zombie should have poison skin. Yeah, poison skin. Okay, good. That looks pretty good. Oh, you can put the icon right in here if we really feel like it. Poisonous skin. There. Okay, next up. So beat the bosses. These we need the boss graphics, but we need them to have a border or something probably. So like we take the ogre. We need to turn this into a 256 by 256. They should probably be facing left. So this is not large enough. Why can't I select anything? Oh, there it goes. So we take this, make a new graphic. We would then make this into a square. How do you make a square selection? There we go. All right, so just that. Whoops. And how do I cut this out now? Clip canvas? There's a way to do this. I don't know how to use this. Well, I guess I could just change this in here. Or what is it? That shortcut. Yeah, so 27 by 27, just set it to that. All right, there we go. Now we resize the whole thing. There should be a way to do that. Resize document. Resample nearest neighbor 256, 256. That didn't work. It shouldn't have done that blurrily. Woodgut. Hey, thanks for the resub. Well, this is Affinity this time. Also, hey, Cynical Dev. Or wait, no, I am supposed to set it to none. What am I talking about? Yeah. We do 256 and just don't resample. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that's what I think we'd use for one of these, at least. I'll export this. I guess we'll put it into that same folder. Where is it? What did I call it? Huh, what did I call it? Skeleteller icons. Why don't I see that here? Oh, because it says I ... Okay, so we'll save this one as ogre. Yeah, we probably want a border for this. Still said 27 by 27. I messed up everything. Wow. How did I mess that up? I resized the document. Oh, because I couldn't actually change it, right? Because you need to choose some kind of resampling. Wait. I can't do that. Man, I wanted to just... I think nearest neighbor would have been correct. I think the problem is that resampling it to something that's not a multiple. Like if we did 270 by 270, it might work. Maybe. Yeah, that did work. Okay, so yeah, that is the problem. So now I need to trim this down, and in doing so, we're going to lose some data. I guess let's just trim it to 256 divided by, I don't know, 16 should just be 16, right? So 8, 32. We don't have 32 pixels though. Could we take just 16 pixels of the original ogre then? That might not look good. 16 by 16 and center it. I don't think that'll work. Hey, Mycelia. Good day. All right, well, what we could do is just put a border around it. Instead of trying to shrink it, we could just expand it. So set it to 32 by 32. And why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? All right, well, I probably shouldn't mess around with this myself. But yeah, this general idea is what we would do. And then since we'll have some blank space, We probably need a background. That's how it's going, but you always seem to be having a blast. It's been going pretty well lately. Last week wasn't the best, but yeah, this week's been going better. And this morning I'm working on something that's pretty much just fun. We're just making achievements in the game. I mean, making the icons is not very fun for me, but yeah, hopefully it does not take forever. All right, so let's try this again, and let's get exactly this graphic. So nothing more. And what is the size of this? 26 by 38. Yeah. So we put this in a new buffer. Then we need to expand this so that it's 32 by 38. Oh, it's 39 pixels. It doesn't really matter how wide it is because I can't fit them all anyway. Then we move this a little bit so that it's centered. Can we center it? No, we can't. Got to be an uneven number of pixels somewhere. So yeah, maybe we put it left aligned. Give 33. Well, I need to expand it to 256, and I don't want there to be any like aliasing for this. All right, so now we trim that down. So 32 by 32. And I want to anchor this to the top. And then we expand the whole thing to 256 by 256. And there's our image now. The only problem is this does not have a border and it doesn't have a background. So maybe I shouldn't do this for all of these because I'll probably end up talking to Quickie Joe about doing these. But I could do the basics. Did that not work? Oh my God, am I messing this up still? It's still wrong. What am I doing? Export 256 by 256. What am I doing wrong? Why didn't this end up? Did I save it as document? No. Oh, now it worked. I don't know how I messed that up. Yeah, well, that's good enough for now, I think. I just meant that if you set the mode on centering, you need to make sure whenever you expand, leaves the same amount of pixel on both sides. Otherwise, you try to center in the middle and resample. Oh, I see. Yeah. All right, so this is, it's not bad when there's transparency, but there's no transparency for achievements. So just have a solid white background. So yeah, I think I need to add this to art request. All right, I'll modify this. I don't mind doing this myself necessarily, but boss achievements. I want to have a 256 by 256 achievement icon for each boss. I think all we really need is a background and border that I can apply to any boss graphic. Although maybe we want a custom color for each background. What would it look like if I just added in, like, what does a canyon look like in the game? We could go put that in, right? Okay, there. So yeah, here's what the canyon looks like. So in this particular case, we could put the background of maybe like this color. That's weird. That's not the color I selected. Oh, I see. You got to press tab over the thing. All right, so I think I want to learn how to do. How do we add a layer here? That button? What does this button even do? Navigator. No, it doesn't have a tooltip. Edit within current container. How do you add a layer? Layer. New group. There's new layer from snapshot. There's no just new layer. Wait, seriously? Does anyone know how to use Affinity? I've had this program for very little time, and clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Pixel layer, layer effects. Oh, I see. That button. Now what, I can just fill this? Control N. Affinity would like to access your downloads folder. this makes a new layer. So say it makes a new document. Control Shift N does make a new layer. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So delete this. All right. Now we just need to fill this. And I don't think I could figure out how to do this last time. G. Okay. I'm gonna figure this out. And let's make it red. I don't know what this tool is doing, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. This one? Ah, nice. There we go. All right, cool. I figured it out at the end. And then the actual color that we wanted was this color. So now how do we paste that color in here? Like so. Except for that didn't do anything. There we go. So it's not bad. It's just I do think this probably needs a border. And I wonder if I should have lowered the whole ogre sprite in here. I mean, that's not hard enough to do. It's pretty easy. We can just move this now. But yeah, something like that. And we put a border around the whole thing. So yeah, I think my conclusion is I should not do a lot of work for this right now. And I don't think it's asking probably a lot to get a border and a background. So hopefully Quickie Joe's not mad at me. But yeah, all right, cool. So I think we should do that. So then I won't make these icons for now. We'll just assume that they're made. Yeah, I don't even need to write down an icon, I think. And what I'll do probably is I'll just use the ogre graphic for all of them, maybe. And it'll just be clear that I need to change them in the future. All right. He's already exporting it. Maybe, yeah. All right, reaching level 20 on an adventure in story mode. All right, so we're going to look through these again. Stronger hires. I think that's decent. We can use that one. I'm also looking for where we'd have this for getting all of your adventurers to a higher level or max level. That's all I really see for now. There's one about getting more starting adventurers. Where's that icon? Where is that icon? Here. Adventuring party. I think, yeah, I think this sort of thing. So yeah, maybe we use that. Icon there, icon. Use this one, stronger hires. All right, hiring all the adventurers. That would be good to use this graphic for. But I don't think this is communicated super clearly when it's tiny. The meeples doubling is decent too. The skeleton thing, this is what we're going to use for getting more workers, I think. Yeah, so this, I think when it's too small, doesn't communicate it very well, but maybe we can use that one. Just be tombstones of the boss miniature. I think just having a picture of the boss is pretty good. Icon here would be this, adventuring party. Max out every perk in story mode. We should certainly have something for that here, right? Maybe this. All right, getting various amounts of gold. We said we just use employee discount for that one. This. Sorry, little peg things. Becoming 2 with a plus sign for hiring, that is. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. One of these sorts of things, but with, yeah, this. Yeah, that's not bad. Alternatively, this. All right, various amounts of gold. We're going to use employee discount for all of that. Icon, employee discount. Are beating scenarios in bone mode. Maybe just this. Oh, I don't have a description for this. Complete the 10th scenario of Bone Mode. All right, completing your first quest, Skeleton Crew. We could use that one. This right here. I don't know if I like that, though. Could use that, too. I think we'll use this for now, clone.jpg. All right, fun achievements. Feed the garbage slime a crop. Let's use that one. Click apples. I don't think we have an apple graphic. Or an icon, I mean. This looks like it could be an apple if you don't look too closely. I mean, it could be something using the garbage slime, like this, but you're feeding a potion, not an apple. This could potentially work. I don't see a better one. Yeah, I think we use increased appetite. Oh, wait, but this has nothing to do with the garbage slime, does it? Yeah, it doesn't. I kind of sort of want to use this. Or we could say click 25 mushrooms. We have some mushroom graphics. Like this. Yeah, and just not have it be for apples. But then we have to change the description name. Or, sorry, the achievement name. Yeah, what other mushroom ones do we have? Because we have a whole mushroom character. There's one with the tombstone up there. That's not really fitting for this. It's also not out of the realm of possibility to get custom graphics for these. I just, like I said, want to cut down on the art burden. Anything else? Oh, wait, what am I talking about? We have this right here. Seek food. It's perfect. All right, we do have an apple graphic. All right, that's pretty good. All right, next up, what's on the to-do list? So make icons close enough to done. Add the achievements on Steam. Yeah, so unfortunately, the bottom of the Steam page says this. This restricted access page contains Valve confidential information. You must have a non-disclosure and or a license agreement covering confidential information to use or access this page. So I think this means I can't show this on stream, even though there's nothing really private about this. It's like the most basic UI, just for adding achievements. Oh, also, we need an API name for this. I didn't come up with those. I gotta write those down. Those should be pretty simple because the user never sees those. What am I doing? There. All right, so what do we call this? ID. I mean, I think we can just call it whatever the name is, right? Yeah. Beat first boss. Beat second boss. Third. Fourth. I wonder if it's better to just do beat boss 1. Yeah. I think I like that better. Because that way we just change a number. That'd be easier to type out on code too. And then we just change all these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. ID of this. Max 1 adventurer. Max level 1 adventurer. Yeah. Max level all adventurers. hire all adventurers. Max every perk. Get gold 1, 2, and 3. Bone mode scenario 1. I'm gonna actually call this 2 and 3, even though it's actually number 10 and number 20. Maybe bone mode completion 1. I don't know. Like I said, though, names don't really matter here. And yeah, it shouldn't be that confusing even for developers because you can always just look at Steam. ID, what is this? Complete quest 1. How about just complete? This one isn't too bad to just enumerate them. Complete first quest and complete last quest. Then feed garbage slime a crop. And this is going to be click apples. All right. So if I just copy paste all this, how many did we end up with? 23. I think that's a good starting point. So now technically I would add them into into Steam. But first, I wonder, is there like command line image editor? Yeah, ImageMagick. I think I've used this a very long time ago. Is there a way to make this black and white through here? Web script, yeah. Convert. Oh, I guess I should search for black monochrome. No. Well, it might still be in there somewhere. Blur, crop, despeckle, dither, draw on, flip join, resample, and much more. It's probably in here somewhere. Monochrome. Yeah, monochrome. Easy. All right, so what's the license around using this? About ImageMagick. Let's just, oh wait, was it right there? No. Oh, they have a GitHub page. We can just look at that. License. Okay, before we get to the text, let's just review what the, wow, they're missing an apostrophe in let's. What the license says in simple terms: allows you to freely download and use it in whole or in part for personal, company, internal, or commercial purposes. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's all I really need to know. Use it in packages or distributions, link against the library, link code. It forbids you to or requires you. Okay, so include a copy of the license in any redistribution, which we're not doing. Provide clear attribution to this for any distributions that include the software. Okay, so we don't even really need to do anything special. We can just use it. And hey, Davey. Yeah, nice. All right, so is there a brew thing for this? Brew. There is. Wow, so easy. Okay, let's go install that. And then let's test it out. So I'm going to take this image, seek food. We're going to put this, actually, you know what we should do? Didn't I already monochrome one of these images? Where did I put that? Where did I put that? Probably in temp somewhere. Achievements? Achievements. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take this image, turn it black and white, and see does it roughly equal this image? Because we used Affinity for this. And yeah, I just want to see what would ImageMagick do for it. So how do you run this? Monochrome. Is there a way to customize this somehow? No, there isn't. Okay, because I was going to say Affinity had like different options for that. All right, so we take, convert an image. Okay, so input and output, and then pass in anything in between. Okay, sounds pretty reasonable. So image, oh wait, do we just run magic? Yeah, we do. -- help should print out everything. Good. All right, so we take in our graphic over here, copy path, CD to that path, and do magic achieved dash monochrome achieved bw.jpg. Oh, that's wildly different. Very bad. Okay, I guess we want a grayscale thing, not a black and white. Well, that one doesn't have a customization as far as I know. But I think we can probably just look for grayscale. Here it is. This one we can customize though. All right, so grayscale. Let's use one of the intensity methods. Equivalent to color space. Rec 709 luminance. What are the other options? I don't know. Let's try this one. Dash grayscale. Rec 709 luminance. Luminance. Did I do that right? That's better. I do want to customize this slightly differently. Color space intensity method will produce the same result regardless of the current color space, but a mathematical intensity depends on the current color space. While this operation uses intensity, it does not use or set the setting. How do I change? Oh, they have a bunch of these. All right, let's try the other ones. I don't know. Yeah, that's good. That's pretty much exactly the same, right? Whoops. I mean, I don't see a difference, and it doesn't matter if there's an actual pixel by pixel difference. It just matters if at a glance does this look monochrome to you. And yeah, it does. Or grayscale, I guess. So yeah, cool. So we got to use this. Yeah, it looks the same. Steam. So generating achievement icons. I did brew. Install ImageMagick. And then full color grayscale. Input and grayscale output. Making icons grayscale. All right. And then as far as converting them to anything else, I don't think we need to do anything else. This shouldn't have changed the size, right? No, yeah, it did not. All right, pretty nice. Pretty nice. So now we have to, before I mess all this up, let's go save these probably inside the game. How big is this folder? 3 megabytes. I'm just debating on whether to save it in the GitHub repo or not. Because we're probably going to use like, I don't know, 20 of these icons. So we don't really need to save all of them. We could also just copy the ones we actually use. I'm belaboring an easy decision. We should probably just throw them in the repo and not worry about it. No, but then we might find them and use them when we don't intend to. Okay, we could put them outside of the game folder for that. Yeah, we could just do that. We have the game folder here. We could put it in maybe tools, Steam, and make an achievements thing. Yeah, I think I like that. All right, where's new folder? Achievements. And then just put all the icons in there. Okay. And then let's also make a README in there. Hello. All right, tools, Steam, achievements, readme.md. Overview. This folder contains all of the icons in Scala Seller as of December 2025. But with that, but as 256 by 256 JPEGs. And without any white space. That way they're perfect for achievement icons. We don't use all of these for achievements, but I think it's easier to have them all in the GitHub repo. Also, I'm not renaming any files here, even if they contain typos, because these are only ever indirectly used by manually uploading to Steam. There's no way to bulk update achievements. Hey, Hagerman, how you doing? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. All right, so we've done all of the work now, I think. Now we just have some grunt work to do. However, I don't think it's worth doing that grunt work on stream. Well, not the uploading to Steam itself. That I want to do later. So I'll say upload all achievement data to Steam for the playtest. Tip Top Tuesday 2. I am. Yeah, it's going well so far. All achievement data to Steam. You know, it would be nice to have all this in a table somewhere, I guess, huh? Maybe this was a dumb idea then. Maybe I should have put it into the repo. I do want to maintain this somewhere. Yeah, in fact, why not just in this README? Achievement data. Okay, not too bad. And this could be a table, but I don't think it really needs to be. But it should at least be a list or something, right? No, it could be a table. Yeah, we could just make it a table. GitHub table generator. Yeah, so what do we need? We need the ID name description icon. ID name description. How do we add another column? Icon. Best, none, whatever. All right, great. Copy this, done. Big update to the playtest. Want to go back and give it another go? Yeah, there was a big update to it. We got all of, oh, that didn't work. Generate. We got all of story mode in the game. You know, a markdown extension for this? I don't think so, no. But then again, I mean, this isn't too bad. Now that we have the table, we can just type in whatever. And as this expands, like if I do this, it'll just reformat the table for me. So I think this should be easy enough to use. What would be even nicer is if AI took over for me here. But I'm going to type in just the first one. And hopefully it knows what I want to do for ones after this. This one, we should copy paste in poisonous skin. Wait, which one is it? This one? Yeah. We don't really need the .jpg at the end. Do we use that everywhere? Yeah, we do. All right, well, whatever. We can delete that afterward. All right, so how do I run AI on this? I'll reload just in case that just fixes it for me. I think I have it turned off for something. MD. No, I don't have it turned off for this. Huh. It doesn't look like it's on. I don't know how you control this. Open status menu. Status ready disabled. Probably disabled because of it being a markdown file. I just don't know where you change that. Mm. Yeah, I don't know where you do that. I saw this option somewhere. I don't remember where though. Maybe if I click this. Oh, there we go. Markdown. Oh, I just have to click that. Okay, cool. So now I should get a suggestion in here. The first big bad. Maybe I need to restart. It's not suggesting things. I was gonna say this is just mechanical typing. I don't want to do this. All right, reload it one more time. Let's see if it does suggest something here. So TBD. No, it's not suggesting anything. Is it turned off again? Inline suggestions markdown. Markdown is set to true. Hey, neural net. Because I'll have to do run a story mode. If you do check out how you feel about pacing of everything. GitHub Copilot enable in settings. Yeah, I have it turned on for this. It's just not doing anything now. Still trigger with Alt /. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize I already having a shortcut for that. There's /. That's Alt /. Oh, that doesn't work on Mac. Maybe we can change that. Wait, what? That's not even my shortcut for it. Huh. Oh, whoops. Copilot. Oh, man. All right, whatever. I'll just manually type it. It really shouldn't be too bad, I think. In fact, if we just copy all the IDs that we have here and then do that, and then paste them here. Yeah. And then I just put the pipes around these correctly. Good. All right, so Beat Boss 1 is finished completely, right? Yeah, Beat Boss 2 we have not finished. Let's go get that. So all the names, we do this. We just do that. Oh, now it's suggesting it. Yeah, no, great. Wait, why didn't that work? That means I have a mismatch of how many of these are selected. Yeah, well, whatever. If it's filling it in, then I can just press tab a bunch of times, right? What? Now it's not doing it? What? What is going on? I don't understand that at all. All right, so how many selections do we have? We have, now it's doing it again. Wow, look at that. All right, well, whatever. I'll just hit tab. Oh, yeah. Really great, huh? Why does it only suggest things when I like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that all looks good. And now Beat Boss 8 is called Bittersweet. Defeat the giant snake. All right, all of these are TBD. Okay. So this is get an adventure to level 20 in story mode. Yeah, this is what I haven't gotten yet. If I select these, I have 14 of these. Shouldn't I have 14 descriptions now? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I see. I had some other descriptions that were not filled in down here. Ideas for future achievements. So now I can just do this pretty easily. All right, we're getting there. We are getting there. And now it's trying to fill in the names. I'm just going to do this myself anyway. And now we just need the icons. All right, so there's our table. We can delete all that. And now we have a very easy to maintain thing. So if I preview this, yeah. And that way we can just copy. Whoop, why did that happen? I double click to select the text, but it goes back to the source. If I open it to the side, it won't do that. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, it does still. That's annoying. Can we generate a preview? There used to be a way to do this. Yeah. I used to have a way to do this. Because I was going to say, we can just export this as an HTML page or render it as something. There is no render, though? Yeah, there's probably some markdown tool for doing that. Or maybe even the preview has like a save or something. No. No, that's too bad. Because this is close to what I want. I mean, we could just use some like online markdown renderer. Markdown live preview. Yeah, just copy paste all this in. Did that not work? Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to take a break, and then I think we'll code all of these. I wonder if we can get them all done in the morning. I've got about an hour and a half. Beating all the boss ones, that should be like dead simple. I just copy paste what I've done. And a couple of these are also copy paste, like get gold, bone mode completion, etc. Problem is we don't have any of these things in the back end. All right, yeah, I'll take a break and then we'll just start tackling them. But yeah, this has been going pretty smoothly. Close out every other tab we have here. So concrete achievements. I'm keeping these directly in the repo so that we don't lose them. It's currently in this. And then we need something else in the to-do here, which is like test all of this. Test the pacing of achievements. I don't want you getting too many within a small amount of time if playing naturally. I don't mind if you get them all in 5 minutes, but I don't want a normal player to be going through the game and being like, oh, like 7 achievements just popped up. Like that shouldn't happen. Some of these are coincidentally going to appear next to each other. Like maybe you get this amount of gold at the same time that you complete your first quest, which is kind of close to beating the second boss or something. Yeah, that's okay. But I want there to be some natural spacing here. And I don't really think you can figure this out ahead of time. I think you just need to test it. So add the achievements on Steam. We're going to do off stream. Code the achievements is next, yeah. Name 206 exponent n. Yeah, it's the name of when you get every skeleton. Or wait, complete every quest. So you have 206 bones in your body and you got that many skeletons. So that's why that's the name of that one. It's very nerdy. Double click to switch editor to not jump back. Ah, thank you. Double click to... Perfect. Thank you, ABC. Okay, I'll go take that break now. I know I keep mentioning this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. hello. Close the game. Inamakazi. Okay, so code the achievements. Let's go get started. Let's just do, let's start with all the boss ones because I already did that. Well, I already started with them. Do we have any other, what did I just do? Do we have any other changes? Ooh, wow. Oh yeah, all the icons. Let's check that in first. Yeah. All right, what's the best way to do this? Skeleseller, tools, Steam, achievements. Yeah. And then git add dot. Now we don't need to type any individual things, yeah. And then steam.md. I think this is pretty good to have there too. And I don't plan on checking these grayscale ones in because they can just be generated. Yeah. What is this? Oh, I don't need this. So I've made no changes so far other than add in icons. Add achievement icons. I also added some README text about this stuff. And what branch am I on? Yeah, the correct branch. Good, 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 good. Cool. You ever document how you made this game? Yeah. What Darkstorm linked in is the repo for it. And then I think, I don't know if I made a playlist for this. I might not have. But I don't see one. Oh, there it is. Creation of Jump Royale. There you go. You can watch me make it. Code line by code line. All right, we're gonna close out all this stuff. Go back to the achievement system. I have this. We do not have the right achievement IDs. So let's go get those IDs in there. Achievement, README. I'm going to copy paste all of these into here. Now, here's something interesting that VS Code can do for you. But I never remember which thing to call this. But it can change the case of something. So we want this to be title case, I think. Yeah, and then we just remove all the underscores. There's probably a way to make it remove the underscores too, but I don't feel like testing out the different modes. All right, and then all the rest of these, we need equal signs on all of them. Equals. Okay, so now here's another interesting trick you can do. You can write something like 1 and then change all these ones to be previous +1. And then select all of that and this one and evaluate, and we're done. So there, now we have a list of our IDs, all with numbers afterward. And we did not spend a lot of time doing that. And then those all need to correlate back to their original values on Steam, which I haven't made yet. But that should be pretty simple too. Achievement ID. Let's just type .foo equals all of that. Yeah. Okay. And then the .foo gets replaced with all this stuff. And we're finished. So those are all the IDs. And now to get the code for this, we're pretty much going to change this around a little bit. 26 stars. I doubt anyone's probably running it. I think someone would have probably told me if they're using it. When the game releases, will the save files be uploaded to Steam Cloud to play on different devices? Yeah, that's the plan at least. So I hope I end up doing that. So this is beat boss 1. Else if instance ID is equal to the volcano, then you beat boss 2. In fact, could we just have how many number of bosses you've beaten? Because that'd probably be best here. And you can't beat them out of order. So yeah, how do we do that? Town.battle. No, what? Why is town not available? Oh, because _town. Town.battlepanel.instance.highest elite levels defeated. There's a getter for this, but it passes in an instance ID. Wasn't there a way to figure out how many unique elites you've defeated? I could have sworn we did that somewhere. Unique. Apparently not. Oh, there it is. Num unique elites defeated. Wow, that was easy. That's exactly what I want. All right, so if that's equal to... I guess we should just get all the boss IDs here. Achievement ID. Boss achievement IDs is equal to that. And then we do if... we just get the achievement ID. And then get this. And yeah, -1. And then just grant you that achievement. Okay, I think that should do it. Collection can be simplified. Was it just use the square brackets? Yeah. Okay. I don't think I see a problem with this, but what we should probably change this to is get within bounds. That way there's definitely not a problem with this. Okay, so there, we're done with those. Now we need Broken Dreams. Die during the intro cutscene. All right, this represents me having to change how we did our achievement system. Our achievement system currently resides in town. It's right there. But the intro does not take place in a town. So we would need to either put it into main, or we add another one in the intro that's its own separate thing. But I think this should just live for the entirety of the application. So we probably just put it in the root. If it's going to do that, then we need to be careful about how we do this, because a town will cease to exist at some point. Alternatively, we could have, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but 2 different achievement systems. So yeah, problem, we can't add an achievement during the intro because the achievement system relies on the town. So option number 1 is have 2 achievement systems. Option 2 is move the town system to the root node, main. And option 3 would be have some way of granting an achievement outside of the system, which is kind of like this, have 2 systems. So what is it doing? This is keeping track of which ones you've gotten and occasionally trying to send these to the server again, or well, trying to send them to Steam again. So if you didn't have Steam open during the time that you beat the intro, it wouldn't give you the achievement. This particular achievement is probably the simplest achievement in the game to get because you click new game and then just don't click skip cutscene. So you're guaranteed to get it after like 30 seconds or however long it takes. So even if someone didn't get it the first time, it's not very hard for them to get it again. It's not like, oh, I had to do some amazing feat of gaming. But that doesn't mean we should make them do it again. So yeah, I think I'd like to have just one achievement system. And I think having it be in the root node would probably be best. But this is going to complicate things. If we move it out of the town, then it will outlive the town. So we need to add a dispose. It will also get loaded every time you load the town. I think we just make another achievement system. I'm actually leaning toward this now after thinking about this. But then we need one that doesn't have the town in it. So we need some like hierarchy for this. So there wouldn't be an init. Well, how often do we even need to do this? What are the other achievements that we have? This is all within story mode, right? Yep. This doesn't have to be in story mode. I guess this is just whenever it happens. And clicking apples again doesn't have to be in story mode. So the only other ones that are not in story mode for sure are these. Bone mode completion. And that could just be when you beat the scenario. So this is the only special one. Makes me wonder if we should like refactor all this. The other thing we could do is just get rid of the achievement. we could just, we could say the achievement is for finishing the cutscene. Let me think about this. Need to store stats. Mark achieved on Steam. All right, well, let's check in what I've done so far, because I feel like this should be... I need to test this all later, but this should be good. Add achievement IDs and boss achievements. All right, so here's what I think I would do. I think we'd make an achievement system with town or something like that, and that'd be this. And this would inherit from an achievement system. And then this just ends up with the town. And I guess it has save data as a result of that. Which means that when you open the full game, we would never have saved that you have this. I don't know if I like this. Problem is that we wouldn't save in town data that you have, that you got the intro achievement. So when you load a demo save file, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't get that one. I mean, this is leading pretty strongly toward the option 4, which is delete the achievement for the intro. It's not even based on your actions. Yeah, so now I feel like that's the best option. Like, why spend a lot of time on just one achievement? And it's mostly a joke anyway. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think we get rid of it. I just don't think it's worth the effort. Although it is funny. It is funny that you get an achievement when your character just keels over and dies. Not sure you saw it. I guess you wouldn't want all achievements to be separate nodes inside the system. I think I saw your suggestion. Let me take a look. I just wanted to respond to it and I didn't have a chance. Are you okay with me showing it on stream? Because if so, I can read it and respond here. Can you run the tutorial twice? Yeah, you can. You could always get this if you missed it. It's not the end of it. Like, I could do a good enough solution. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, so let me take a look at this. I checked what you do with achievements. Notice onBeat Elite instance for first time is inside achievement system. Think it'd be better if achievements were just nodes with their own scripts in case you need to run updates on them. Yeah, I don't think there'd need to be updates run on them. But the logic starts to get big once you add more. And the starting to get big, I think we would just use partial classes here. And we'd have like a boss achievement system, which would be a, well, it'd just be the file. But then we'd have a partial class achievement system. We could do is retrieve all achievements from Steam on start, instantiate only those that were not unlocked yet with town injected. So they live inside the achievement system until unlocked. The system could listen for on-achievement unlocked event inside and then remove them upon unlocking. Yeah, so I think this is, if your events are heavyweight, you would probably do this. But in our case, it's like we have you beat an elite and it tells maybe 2 things, one of which is the achievement system. And the achievement system is going to be like, oh, okay, I'll mark that you have the achievement now. And then it's going to tell Steam, and then Steam will be like, no, you already have this. That's all pretty cheap. So I don't think it's worth removing listeners and then potentially creating a bug. Why can you not stash the achievement with the town info? So this one in particular happens in the intro. It's die during the intro. So there is no town yet. We haven't even created the town scene. So that's why we can't save it with the town. So we need to do something special for this. And I think, yeah, the other, I keep leaning to different things. This is not a bad option, I guess. This would let us have the achievement and just not have it propagate from the demo, which isn't too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. You can't just track it outside, then set it when the town gets created. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. And that would be this pretty much. So we could have the intro achievement system tell the town about it. I mean, it's pretty much just, did you skip this or not? What does our scene hierarchy look like? What did you mean when you just said, if I do this, I'll potentially be creating a bug? What I was talking about is like, yeah, to give you an overview of this whole thing, we need achievements in the game. Achievements are typically tracked via event handlers. So there's some like earned money plus equal like check for money achievements or something like that. So what Dark is suggesting is we conditionally add these if we don't already have the achievements. And what I was saying is by doing this, we may end up adding a bug for a tiny performance gain. Now, we may not end up adding a bug. It could literally be as simple as like, do you have this achievement? If, you know, achievement not unlocked, some ID here, id.beatboss1. Or rather, if achievement achieved, you could check to see, have I gotten every single boss achievement? And if you have, then just don't add the listener. You just have to be careful with how you do this. And maybe for something like money changed, it might be more worthwhile than with the other ones. Like if you've gotten the 250,000 gold one and we know you don't have any other achievements for that. Yeah, we shouldn't need to check for this every time. But yeah. All right, let's go look at the scene hierarchy and figure out what we do with the intro cutscene. Skip intro. Main scene with intro. Transition to intro state. Here it is. We could pass in whether you watched the whole thing. Yeah, we could. Intro.go to town scene could just pass in whether you should get the achievement and then save it. There is a kind of interesting race condition here, though. Because what would happen is we'd try granting you this directly in the intro. And then if Steam is not running at the time, it won't do anything. Then you'll finish the intro and go to the town. The town will save it in the achievement system, which I guess then we'll try to grant it. Okay, yeah, that's probably fine. Why not use conditionals? So it all depends on what you're trying to do exactly. Like, yeah, it's hard to get this across. The conditional in this case would stop you from doing some amount of compute. And the compute we're talking about could potentially be very tiny, and the condition may be hard to maintain. But that's the point, is it's something you have to maintain. So as an example here, like we have one achievement. Yeah, let me paint this scenario. So scenario, we have an achievement for get 500 gold. So what we do is we check to see if achievement unlocked, yeah, whatever, get 500 gold, then do nothing. Otherwise, add a money handler. So like, yeah, town.money changed plus equal check for achievement. Okay, so this is our condition. This works perfectly. You can do this. Now, in the future, we say we want to add another achievement to get 10,000 gold. So we add the achievement, and on the first time you go through the game from scratch, it will actually work because we'll see that you haven't unlocked even the 500 gold one. So we'll add this event handler and we'll check for the achievements here. And if we don't ever remove it while the game is running, we'll actually get the 10,000 gold one as well. But then someone is going to do this. They're going to have a save file or have a Steam profile, I guess, that has the 500 gold achievement, but not the 10K one. And they're going to load their game and it's going to run this code and it's going to be like, oh, you have an achievement. So I'm going to do nothing. And now they won't be able to get the 10,000 gold achievement, all because we tried to save a tiny bit of compute and we didn't realize we had to change the condition. So that's the real scenario that we have here. And if all this is doing, this event is something like super simple, oh, is a number greater than another number, that's constant time. You really don't need to worry about it too much. You're pretty much bug proof by adding it in. You're just, yeah, you're doing something extra in some cases. So that's why it's a little bit risky to do this. This is also why they say, like, don't ever prematurely optimize. Optimization is generally bad because you might optimize for what you have now. And then in the future, you try making a change and you're like, oh, now we need to undo some optimizations. And if those optimizations saved you a lot, then yeah, great. Like if you change an algorithm from like O of n to the third or something like that, and you get it to be O of log n, it's like, yeah, that's probably worthwhile to do ahead of time. But if we're talking about like you have something of O of, I mean, it's all O of n, but let's say you change the constant on this thing. So it's like O of 4n to O of n. It's like, okay, yeah, you made something a little bit faster, but might not be worth doing ahead of time. Make it work, then optimize. I think it's like make it work and then see where you need optimization. So I don't think you should just optimize all of your code. It's, yeah, optimize if it's slow. Or optimize if there's a problem, if a user complains, that sort of thing. They're like, hey, the game is taking 14 seconds to load on my machine. Okay, yeah, you probably consider that to be a problem. Most games probably would. But then, yeah, there's probably some game out there where it's like, we're just loading gigabytes and gigabytes of models. Like, there's nothing else we can do here. You got to have them all on level 1 of the game. All right, so yeah, we could pass this in, and I think this will work. So let me see how we do this. First of all, where exactly do you die? Intro shop? Yeah, you die in here. And where's the timeline for this? On death. What do we do here? Can I play this? No, this is like after you've died, right? Where do you die? Deal poison to player. I don't remember any of this. All right, let's go look at intro shop.cs. On death. Here, right there. Play death sound. So that's when you should get the achievement. So I'll write to do grant achievement here and mark in the intro that we tried to grant it so that the town can save it. From understanding nothing and saying hi, Adam, to talking about code, I've come a long way. Yeah. And I think it's good. And I think it's good to ask questions about this stuff because sometimes it takes a little bit of experience to recognize that these things can go wrong. And if you think about it, every single line of code, comment, documentation, etc. in your repo can eventually be wrong or out of date. So you might write a comment like this. You might have code where you say in x equals 5, x plus equal 2, and you say add 2, and then you return x. Now you come in here in the future and you change this to this. And all of a sudden your comment is wrong. This is probably pretty clear. You'd look through Git, you'd see like, oh yeah, this just should have said 3. I mean, you shouldn't have this comment in the first place. It's not doing anything. But this is at least an obvious example. But what if this were really something like offset how many items we have in the UI? And now it's like, oh God, I don't know how many items we have in the UI. Like, why is this 3 here? Why isn't this a constant? Why isn't it pulling it from the UI? Why do we have a comment like describing that and not on the constant? So those are all things that you need to consider. Like, it's not just the code that needs to be maintained, it's the comments, it's your documentation, it's your really anything that has to do with your product. And as weird as it is to say this, like, kind of all knowledge works this way. And you might think some things are static and they're not really static. Like, maybe, I don't know, you're learning a new language and like how you say hello is this for now. And you might think this is going to be true forever, but it might not be. With enough changes, people might just start saying a different word. And maybe this gets a negative connotation somehow and people stop saying it. So even like what you think are just factual notes, they may be at the time, and those facts might change in the future. Yeah, Pluto is a planet, those sorts of things. Like, or this country exists, or yeah. So just be careful about where you're adding things that are maintenance points for you in the future. Hey, Torque. Welcome back. Some games are just way too hard. Can we optimize away the gameplay? Yes, we can. I checked out your stream. I thought it was kind of funny because at the end, you rated me, but you left the stream running, and then I saw you open League of Legends. So I hope you had a fun game or games. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes comment that explains what something is supposed to solve. Yeah. I'm not saying comments have no purpose. I'm saying some comments have no purpose. But my main point overall was all comments need to be maintained, or else they lose their value. They could lose their value. Yeah, this is my real statement here. So you might write what a parameter does, and then you remove the parameter, but then you keep the comment there for what it does. And then maybe you add that in the future and someone doesn't realize the comment is now wrong, those sorts of things. Any number of little things that can go wrong with those. So we're going to try to grant the achievement here. We have intro.play sound. We need some like intro.remember that we died. Kaz out of the bag. Well, what I was really thinking is it's a good thing you only opened up League of Legends. You had Discord open and you almost, it looked like might have clicked a DM or something. And I thought, man, I've seen people do that on stream. And if they ever leak something, like I wouldn't be telling you this in front of everybody. If you had shown something you shouldn't have shown, I would have DM'd you and been like, hey, just so you know, your VOD should have ended 2 minutes earlier. Don't forget that if I ask for a code review of the code that you comment on a lot, people ask if it was AI generated since it comments every line. Yeah, I think a lot of comments from AI are kind of helpful for telling you as a human the context, but that shouldn't be kept in. Whereas human written content should ideally be kept in because a human thought about them. Wake up, it's been 3 raids. You're somehow on cosplay content. Your wife goes, are you okay? I don't know if that's the best feeling. All right, so we have the intro here. We're going to keep track of a bool. Watched your own death. And I'll write, this is for the sake of an achievement. We store this so that if we have any trouble granting the achievement, e.g. you're playing the demo, which doesn't even have achievements, then we can grant it later once we have a town. To save it to. Does that work if I press F12? No, it doesn't. Why? Where is town? Name space scene scripts. Now that works. Do we call them corners? All right, so watch your own death. So I guess we can make a protected function here. It's only going to be called in one spot, though. Protected, void. Yeah, there we go. All right, now we do this from that to-do that we have over here. Now, technically, is this not what this is called? Intro shop doesn't inherit from intro? Here's some intro scene base, which has an intro. What? Clearly don't remember how this works. So this is public, which now needs to be moved up here. And then we want to try giving you the achievement immediately. This is the one time we're going to do this. So we need to be able to, this technically needs to be public and static, which is then not going to work, huh? I guess we could just call this, but then we need to call store stats as well. I don't know if I like that. Well, all right, let's do all of this. Oh no, how do I? All right, this is gonna get annoying. Public static void force grant achievement on Steam, or like immediately grant achievement. I don't know. We're gonna need to write a better function for this. So it's just I'm gonna copy paste everything, and we're not gonna do this, and we're not gonna do this. The rest of that's all fine. And then return a Boolean of whether this is successful or not. So this is return true. Is that even doable? That returns a Boolean. We don't check that. Set achievement. Is this Godot Steam? Is this a Boolean indicating success? Set achievement. Why can't you search? Why is this so difficult? Oh, is it underscore? Like set achievement? And because I'm using C#, I couldn't search that way. Aha. Set achievement function. Now, where do I find the documentation for that? Oh, okay. Well, we have it on the store stats thing, so we can probably find it from here somewhere. No, it's not on this page. It's calling set achievement. Man, you do GD work or just SWE? What is GD? How is Godot Steam for Steam integration? Yeah, it seems pretty good. Managed to solve a raycasting problem you had today? Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Game design. Oh, yeah, I do game design work. I have written many, many documents on stream about game design. And even technically this stuff that we did earlier today, like this is a game design document. It just happened to be for achievements. We like looked at other games, looked at how they did achievements, wrote all of our achievement data out, figured out the icons for them. Yeah. And like I said, that was just this morning. That's how we started the stream. But yeah, I think coding is the bulk of the work I end up doing on stream. Why can't I find what this is? I just want to see what this Boolean represents. There's get achievement. Oh, it doesn't have an underscore in it. Okay, so then there it is. Set achievement. Returns success. Otherwise false if it did not exist or the changes are not published. Okie dokie. So we need to return this. And in this case, we return false, which indicates that it wasn't successful or that you already had the achievement. Oh, that's not good. We need like 3 different return values from this, I think. Or rather, we only care. Okay, no. So we should just consider this to be true, I suppose. Yeah. Returns false if this needs to be retried. I don't know why I wrote it that way. True. If the achievement either was already granted or was just now successfully granted. Yeah. All right, so static functions go toward the top. We can put that there. It's probably going to complain that it's in the wrong spot. It is. Great. I don't care. I don't ever want to do this. All right, good. Now we have this function call this one. So we do if not grant achievement, then do this stuff. Drat. No, we can't do that. Yeah, I gotta be more careful about this. I think I need 3 return values. We need to know that we successfully set the achievement. Yeah, we need to be able to distinguish that. So I'll make an enumeration, get returned from this. Render 3D world to texture, then draw that sprite and film it with a 2D camera. That broke the raycasting. Oh man. Yeah. This is why I just don't want to make my own engine or render or anything. I don't want to deal with that stuff. But it sounds like you worked through it quite nicely. So good job. So we could do this in a couple different ways. We could just have this return 2 booleans, and the first one could represent whether or not the achievement existed and then whether or not it was added. I either need 2 booleans or I need an enumeration. I need more than 1 bit. And I'm just not sure what I want to do yet. Yeah, let's put an enumeration in here. Public enum grant achievement result. So already granted, just granted, or needs retry. That sounds pretty reasonable. Are we adding an achievement for clicking 100 apples? Only for 25, I think. And hey, mysterious. All right, so now this will return this, and now we don't need to differentiate at all. This one is going to say if success, return that we just granted it, otherwise needs retry, otherwise already granted, or that it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, though, we don't need to do anything. And this will actually throw an error, I think. Okay. Now what? Enumerations need to be lowered down. Never get this right. There we go. No, it's still wrong. Enum should not follow property. Love if VS Code could just do this for me. Rider can. Alrighty. So now we go look at this and we get the result of that. Grant, achievement result. Okay, so if we granted it, if we couldn't grant it, oh, this is not how this works. Oh man, why did I make this so confusing? Where does the retry logic happen? Might spend hours. I don't. So right now, most of the achievements that we have planned are going to be completed by just normally playing the game. But yeah, we probably do need a couple of extra achievements to get people to play even longer. All right, so what are we looking at here? Needs to store stats. I don't like having 2 of these things here. If it needs retry, well, we're never going to retry this though, right? Will we? No, we aren't going to retry it. How can this fail? False if it doesn't exist or the changes are not published. Oh. Okay, that's not a retry. All right, I misunderstood this. Changes are not published meant you as a developer didn't put them on Steam, not Steam couldn't put them on the back end. So this should never, where is it? This should never get hit because we check to see if it's there. If it's not there, then we know that there's a problem. But doesn't it get Steam Achievement ID fail? Does can just return a Boolean? Oh, man. Why has this got to be such a pain? All right, let's put this back to a Boolean and always assume that this is going to be true. This can return false if the achievement wasn't published on Steam. But we check for that above with ret. So we just return true in this case. And return false in this case. And then we write this out again. True if we just granted the achievement and now need to call cref store stats. Yeah. Could it throw this? I don't think it can throw. I think it'll just return false if it can't do anything. I'd say log and continue. If it gets hit, you'll need to know about it. The user can't do anything about it. I don't think it's going to get hit there, though. I think it's going to get hit here. Like, well, I think we just need a validator for this. I should probably write that up in my to-do. Do I not already have that there? And so on dev machines, we should probably validate that the achievements actually exist, that we have IDs for. All right, let's go back to the achievement system. So now I have some confusingly named functions here. This is like grant achievement, but then don't. Let's do this. Just granted equals this. If just granted, then need to store stats. So this is like mark achieved on Steam is this thing. And then this is some other function. What is this? This is like mark achieved and store stats. So this is only possible when we have a town. No, that's not true. I'm missing a line of code here. There was something that was supposed to save it in an array, wasn't there? Hey, Chase. Which properties does achievement ID have? There aren't really any properties for it. The ID is really just an ID. There's like id.beatboss, and then it's going to correlate to a Steam achievement ID, like beatboss1 or something like that. So they're just identifiers. I am slightly confused about what I was intending with this code originally. Well, let's read this again. So this is going to get called from intro shop, or this even. So we're going to call achievement system dot mark achieved, watch your own death. It's not called that. It's called broken dreams. And this might fail. And whether or not it fails doesn't really matter. No, we're never gonna call source stats. No, there's a problem here. I gotta write this down. I should not be getting turned around this badly with what I'm trying to do here. So need to store stats is here. We do want to call this. So why did I extract this out into its own function? I should have just made this static. Why couldn't I do that? Oh, because this would have needed to be there. Okay, I see. And we don't have an achievement system. Oh, okay. I understand. Yeah, so we just need to call this directly. And public static void store stats. All right, I see. So that's where we do this over here. Achievement system dot store stats. I think it should be something over here that we do this with. Force call to store stats equals false. And then if you do force the call, then we call this. Great. We delete that static function I just wrote. This, I don't care about that. And then over in the intro, we set this to true. force. And then we just document what that does. Param. I actually just want the force call. If true, we'll call this immediately after granting the achievement. This is only meant for narrow situations where you don't have an achievement system instance. Since otherwise we could try storing stats on a timer with like proper retry logic, I guess. I think this is still confusing. This is a bad API. Hang on one sec. Excuse me. Can't find it in your why not GDScript note. Do you have any strong opinions about using in Godot code editor? I didn't even realize you could for C Sharp. Maybe you can. I don't even think I really tried it. I think my main issue would just be I'd be lacking all of the power of Visual Studio Code. The things I'm annoyed by with VS Code are somewhat minor. Well, the minor part is like reordering code. I'd like to not have to do that. The major thing is having to restart all the time. But if I use the Godot editor, I think I'd be annoyed by all the things I've gotten used to. Like I have Git integration over here. I have the being able to just evaluate arbitrary selections, multiple cursors, all the shortcuts I'm used to, like pulling tabs out into different windows, all those sorts of things. Oh, for GDScript. Oh, sorry. I think there were issues way back when, but I think the last time I used GDScript in the editor was in 2020. And back then there were, actually, I think it was the other way around. I think there were problems using GDScript in VS Code back then. Regardless, at this point, I don't think my answer about GDScript should probably have any bearing on anybody because I haven't really seriously used it for a long enough time now. I've just been using C# for a while. So I was just saying, I think this API is bad because it should probably never be called from the outside. And it's like, you should only ever call this function when you don't have an achievement system. Otherwise, just let this call this internally. And if we are going to call this externally, then I guess we need this thing to be set to true. Are you working with Godot now, Mysterious? So this function should almost never be. Oh, look at this. Really only exists to accommodate a single scenario at the time of writing, which is granting an achievement during the intro when you don't have a town instance yet. As a result, yeah. Force call the store stat. Should always be true in that case, since we won't have proper retry logic otherwise. I think it's just bad design. Yeah, I think we should have just made a second achievement system. I don't know. I don't really care. I just want this to work, and then I don't ever want to touch this again. And we should probably rename this to like force store stats, and then rename this here. Any tips? I don't want to start C# tutorials, sitting there for like 5 hours still learning functions and how to print to terminal. I like projects to learn. I'm using Build Your Own X and trying to write C#, but I don't know, I'm just stuck in a constant loop. I want to make some interesting projects for reference. I have ADHD and struggle massively with feeling like I'm not learning anything. I think what's difficult about the different approaches you can have to learning something are either start with like the foundations of something. So like, yeah, what is a function? What is a variable? How do you handle control flow? All those sorts of things. Or start with a project, and then each time you encounter a problem, you spin off into the same learning thing. Like, do you learn the foundation? Do you make another project outside of it? And I think there are pros and cons to doing this stuff. It sounds like part of your issue is with motivation. So I think a project-based approach is probably best. And the problem is coming up with an interesting project to you that is also small enough to be like finishable and still help you learn. So like what you could make is, a number guessing game on the command line where it's like input a number and you type 5 and it says it's higher than that. And you type in 8 and it says something like, that's it. This is not like a super fun project, but it's going to teach you some of the basics, and it's still going to give you enough instructions on what you need to learn next. What this could lead to, though, is gaps, because your project-based learning might just never bring you into a scenario where you need to learn a particular thing. Like at some point, you should probably learn what object-oriented programming is, even if you never use it again the rest of your life. But like, you should know about it. You should also know about functional programming. You should also know about a whole bunch of other things. And if the projects you keep coming up with are like, oh, I'm going to make a website to do X, or I'm going to make a little tool to do this thing. It's like, you might never encounter these things. And then you might not know that you should be using them in some cases. So I think ideally you have a mixture of these things. You have a foundational approach, and you also have a project-based approach. But if you're struggling for now, I'd say, yeah, try to do this. Come up with an interesting project, make sure it's small, and try to learn the foundations that way. Why is the achievement system not in main? So, because we save it to a save file at some point, and I didn't want to make another save file. So it's saved to the town save file, but in main, we don't have a town yet. So there's only one achievement that really needs to be outside of the town, and it's just the intro. So I'm just going to handle this specially. And yeah, if it turns out we ever have more achievements, then we should probably do something differently. Hey, why not? Actually, I have a concept game now that I'm motivated to work on for longer than a day. Kind of really enjoy using the Ingedo editor. Yeah. If you enjoy it, yeah, definitely. Whatever my frustrations are shouldn't factor into it, especially because what you're doing is not committing to something. Like if you ever are frustrated by the Godot editor, you just switch to something else, VS Code, Rider, doesn't matter. And yeah, you'll just pick up where you left off. As opposed to if you didn't like Godot and then you found out you had to switch, you'd probably change a lot of code. Should I use Unity, learn and try that as well? Yeah, sure. I mean, look, there's no way to go wrong with learning if you're actually learning. And everything is fine. It's like, could you use Unity to learn C#? Yes. Could you use Unity to learn game dev? Yes. Could you use it to do any other thing, like just rendering or something? Yeah, totally. But what if you try these things and you find out, man, I really hate game dev? Then you're probably not learning anymore. And then, yeah, Unity's probably a bad option. But it's more subjective at that point. Like, are you having fun? Are you motivated? That's something that's going to be based on you, not based on everybody. What am I working on? Right now, I'm working on adding achievements to the game. The game overall that I'm working on is called Skeleseller. So there are a couple of commands to explain that stuff, but welcome in, Dev. Yeah. Okay, so I think we got this here. Now we just need to figure out when you leave the intro. Where is that? I wrote it down somewhere. Where did I write this down? Oh, God. I don't know where I wrote it. And I lost what that thing was called. All right, well, it was like transition to main or town or something like that. Scene fade in. I can't find it anymore. Go to town scene. There it is. I wrote it in a buffer. Wow, that was stupid. All right, so this action should have a Boolean. That Boolean is going to be whether you watched your own death. And then something needs to handle this. We gotta go find that. Transition into this. This won't know how to do anything here. Yeah, we don't have a way to parameterize this. Mind reading my previous message about losing data? Yeah, sure. Let me take a look. Why do we save it to town? Won't that make us lose it if a new town is started? Yeah, so almost all of the achievements are just based on having a town. So it just made sense for a lot of these. And there's something like beat the ogre, right? So like you save this to your town. And then if you start a new town, that's okay. We'll try granting you the achievement again, but you'll just already have it. So it's not a problem. But yeah, I think it probably would make more sense to just make a new save file. And then keep track. Oh, wait, there was another reason why we did this, though. Yeah, there was another reason why we did this. I guess we do need some town-specific stuff. So, like, one such achievement is going to be something like get 5,000 or 50,000 gold in a single run. If we store this stuff outside of town, we need to keep track of once you have a town, how much money have you gotten? Yeah. There are a lot of, yeah, I don't know. I'm torn on this. May I ask you for a quick review of my Gamify tool on itch? Probably not, no. Not now, at least. Maybe over Discord or something. Sorry, if someone comes in and like one of their first messages is to share a link to their own thing, it's just, it kind of rubs me the wrong way, but also like you're asking me to stop what I'm doing to do something for you. I don't necessarily mind answering questions where it could help somebody else, but like reviewing your tool is probably not going to help anybody else. I've seen you working all day every day. How do you keep yourself motivated on days you don't feel like working? It's not really all day every day. I only stream for about 6 hours per day. So that's not too bad. But yeah, in general, the stream does help me stay accountable. All right, so we have go to town scene. This gives you a bool watch your own death in here, but then we don't do anything with it. Why don't I use AI agents? I just don't prefer to. I generally just code the stuff I want to code. I do use Copilot, so there are AI auto completions. All right, so here we go into this thing, and we have a town here. Can we parameterize the state somehow? I don't think we can. Yeah, transition would need to know to pass in a parameter, and it doesn't. So we need to save this somewhere static. I mean, for this one case, I'm kind of tempted to do it. It's my first actual launch. Yeah, I mean, you must have some other like friends or colleagues or something who could review it. I just think it's a little strange to go into a totally new Twitch stream and ask someone who's working on their own project to take time out of their day and work on your project now. You must have someone you know who can help you with that. I wouldn't even necessarily be opposed to it if you'd been in the stream for like a couple of weeks and you'd been a contributing chat member or something. About to dip into web dev for the first time for work, primarily do analytics. Pretty excited for that. Yeah, I think web dev is worth learning. I think it's got a lot of pros and cons, and one of the cons is it moves so fast sometimes that whatever you did 2 years ago is maybe not relevant now, and maintaining that software can be annoying sometimes. Do we know what'll happen if 2 Steam accounts use the same computer? We don't support that, do we? Would probably be part of Steam Cloud support. As for needing the town, you can inject the system from main in the state machine. Do we know what'll happen if 2 Steam accounts use the same computer? We probably, so we do need Steam Cloud support. And yeah, I assume that would be part of it. I should probably write that down because I'm not totally sure. Right now, there's only one save location. one thing we need to make sure of is that achievement data isn't intermingled. E.g., Steam account A plays the game, then Steam account B should have totally separate save data, which would prevent the achievement problem. At least I think it would prevent it. I don't know. Hey, King. What if the first or second chat message is the question? Is that fine? Well, I don't mind questions. Like I said, I don't even mind. Like, I've done a lot of different things for people over the years here. I've done a lot of things for free. I just think if, like, one of your first messages is, like, go spend time on my project, I'm probably going to say no to that. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it or anything. If you're going to ask me a question like, how do I get into game dev or something, I've answered that question a bunch of times, and I'll probably answer it a bunch more times. So yeah, if you have a question, feel free to ask. Also, the question can be like, you know, will you work full time on my project for free? And it's okay for me to say no, and that's it, right? I don't mind people asking. I don't think it's a reasonable thing to fulfill. That's all. Hey, Bokanon. Yeah. All right, so we're deleting this. I never meant to save this anyway. And I got to still process Kevin's message because I did not. As for needing the town, you can inject the system from main in the state machine. Oh, but I don't have a system from main. But I guess we could just inject the Boolean in the state machine. What kind of state machine do we have? Or do I even want to do this? I mean, I could just use a static variable for this. I don't know if I want to do that. I loved Botland. I was ranked #1, which is still a thing. I mean, it'll probably come back next year. Probably be playable again and open sourced. If it works, it works. No. What you're saying is fair, by the way. And yeah, I hope you have a good meeting. By the way, when I say come back, I don't mean supported. I mean, it'll just exist. That's all. So, like, will there be players? Probably not. Will there be new content? Almost certainly not. Yeah, man. The only thing I keep thinking here is I just make this static. I make this public. Get private set. Can we even do that? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Man. Yeah, I don't like this. You only need to know this for this didn't work. Or if you were in the demo, that's why. That's for if you're in the demo. Yeah. Open source it, let the vibe coders go mad. Yeah, I mean, it will be open source, I think, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest in doing anything with the game or reviving it or something. Have you been doing primarily game dev, or do you come from a bit different background? I've done mostly game dev on stream. So I started in 2015 on Twitch, but I started game dev a long, long time ago. But just before, so like 2015 to 2020 was working on this game called Botland. And then 2020 to 2023 was working at Google on non-game stuff. And then 2023 until now has been Skeleseller. So I'd say it's like a general computer science background. Hobby has been mostly focused on game dev. And on stream, it's been probably like 90% game dev over the course of like 8 years or something. All right, I'm still torn on this. I don't want to add it. I don't want to add it somewhere. I think I am going to make this static, though. It's just the fastest way to do this. And then we don't pass this in here, which means we don't get a Boolean for this, which means on the listening side of this, we don't need to consume a Boolean. And then once we enter the town state, we would check the intro to see if this thing was true. And if it is, try granting you the achievement. I definitely don't like that. I don't like any of this. Intro. Watched your own death. Achievement system. Add achieved achievement. Broken Dreams. Okay, we can grant it later. Note that making this static was hacky, and that if we ever have a bunch of achievements that take place outside of the context of a town's save file, we should change this. There. Hey, Ingvar. I'm beginning to wonder just how close this is. I mean, in the context of the game, I don't think this is bad. Field should be private. I mean, can we do this? Oh, it's not even a field anymore. Fields do not follow a property. Okay, now it's probably going to say something about static coming before. Yep. Are we looking good now? Yeah, I think so. All right, I don't actually have the achievement in the back end, so I can't easily test this unless there's one thing we could do. We could use baby's first achievement here. All right, so how do we do that? We go to achievement ID and we change Broken Dreams to be baby's first achievement. And then we just watch the intro and see if this works. I sure hope this does. I was wondering, if you have a game with several weapons, how should you go about coding the different stats, like recoil, damage, range? Should it be in a separate file with all the parameters? I like having the data in just one spot. And at least the way that we're doing this in C# is our data is also in C#. So for example, if you look at item data that we have, this is pretty similar to something that you might want. We have like a hat, and it's an armor item, and its value is 20, and it's got a name, it's got a description, and it's got a sprite that's corresponding to it. And that's it. We manifest these for everything. So like Frost Helmet, that's also an armor. It also has a value, also has a display name and flavor text, and also has a sprite. So you do something pretty similar to that. The way I like thinking about this is, think of first, what data do you have? So things like recoil, damage, range, you know, maybe like color or whatever, sprites or textures or something like that. And then what are the types of these things? So recoil, I don't know, might be a float. Maybe it's a pattern. Maybe it's a like a vector 2 array actually. Depending, a lot of games could do this differently. And at least in the game that I'm playing now, the finals, the recoil pattern is like each shot potentially moves you up or to the left or to the right somehow. So actually, the vector 2 array might be reasonable. And then define these for each thing. I think where this gets a little bit trickier is if you ever have like some weapons have recoil and some don't. So you start mixing and matching properties. Like maybe you have melee weapons and those would work totally differently. In which case you probably want some like, you need to think of what structure you want actually. This is where some places use an entity component system and you have components that form your entity, which in this case would be weapons, or you potentially have like weapon data, and then from this you have like melee weapon data and range weapon data. Maybe that's how you delineate them. So weapon data itself just has things like damage and color, and then melee weapon data wouldn't have range. This one would. And this one might have something like, what was it called? When you attack and it like magnet range or magnet power or something. I don't know. Something like pulls you toward an enemy to make it easier to attack them with a melee. So yeah, something like that. Does deving and QAing at the same time burn you out faster? Because I feel like it burned me out way too quick. It all depends on what you like and what you're capable of. I think if you feel like you're doing annoying work every single day, you're probably going to burn out quickly. For me, I think having some variety is good. And I think that what comprises that variety or what composes that variety matters. So as an example here, let's say I was working on art and UI and I don't know, testing. Like I don't mind any of these things in a small dose. I'm very bad at art. But now let's say I had like a month of this and a month of this and a month of this, I'd probably go crazy. So I'd probably want to like interweave in some coding tasks or some game design tasks. But yeah, you might be totally different. And an artist is almost certainly not going to get burned out by doing art for most of the day because Otherwise, why are they an artist? But like, I probably will be. All right, so the thing I need to do now is not skip over the intro. So we're going to set this to false. And we're just going to run the game. And we don't have the achievement right now, so it should grant it to us. Hope this works. It's going to be the wrong text because I didn't make the real achievement. So we're just going to watch the intro, and as soon as we die, we should get an achievement. So sit back and relax. Well, that didn't seem to work. I wonder why not. Steam is running. Was this successful? Success, yeah. And it says I have the first achievement, but it didn't pop up on the screen. No. No. Mark achieved. Force store stats is set to true. Sure love when I need to reload VS Code. Store stats, huh? I wonder what went wrong. Wait, did it even... Oh, I closed that. Can I still see that? No, because I reloaded VS Code. I don't think it said granting the achievement. Let me go watch the VOD. Maybe it did. He's already muted. No, it doesn't say granting. Huh. So it didn't even try to do this? What did I mess up? All right, well, let's back up a bit then. Let's just put a breakpoint here. And yeah, let's do that. Doesn't it normally already give you notifications? You need to call the store stats thing for it to give you the notification immediately. Otherwise, it's only when you close the game, which I don't think I saw it even when I closed the game, though. There might be some other problem happening here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to continue because we can kind of trick this a little bit. We can do that, set the game speed higher, and then make a new game. And now we don't have to watch the entire thing just to where we get poison and it slows down. Now it should break in. Perfect. Now we can see what's going wrong. Guy looks like the guy from the Adventurers Guild in Stardew. Hey, Ryman. Love the intro. Yeah, I really like the intro. I think it's great. It took a lot of time to do. All right, so the achievement ID should be baby's first achievement. Maybe that's not what it's called. I don't actually remember. Baby's first achievement. No, it is. And I spelled it right? Yeah, I think that's correct. So now we try getting the achievement. That should work. So we should be in here. Yeah, we are. This didn't get printed last time, though. So then we call set achievement, and then we call store stats. Yeah, so this should pop it up as soon as I press this button. And there it is. All right, I don't know why that didn't work the first time. Huh. Why didn't that work the first time? No, I don't think that was Steam's problem, though. I think it was my problem. I didn't see this print out the first time. Like, even in the video right here where we have this, it says, will load 420 resources, loaded all resources, and then that's it. We don't see any other log message. Yeah. Weird. We're going to have to recompile it. I mean, maybe something was going wrong there, but I don't know how else I could have even launched the game without it building. Or maybe this is a race condition that I then skipped over by putting a breakpoint there. I'll try it one more time, I guess. Okay, so I'm just waiting for a second. All right, now I'll load the game. I want Steam to definitely have cleared this thing out. It should have said that it did, right? Success? Yeah, success. So I don't have the achievement now. We're going to do the same thing again. I'm not going to speed it up. We're just going to wait around. First time you weren't stepping through the debugger, adding a bunch of time. Yeah. Yeah. But I also didn't even see it log that I was supposed to get the achievement. Yeah. Well, let's see this time. Okay. I don't know. It worked. So what that will say instead of baby's first achievement is it's going to say broken dreams die during the intro cutscene. Yeah. So the idea here is that it's intended to be a joke, and I hope people are like, okay, I sort of get the tone of this game right from the very beginning, and I think you'd realize even just from the text that's already there. But yeah, let's try that out. So I'm going to check this in. I'm not happy at all with this commit. Yeah, it's just not nice. So this we got to put back to what it was. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. All right, so add intro achievement. This was coded hackily because it's the only achievement that happens outside of a town context so far. And I want this one to carry over from the demo. That's the other thing that I have here is like, this needs to get saved somewhere. Actually, does it? Only if you save the game. I should probably do something really fast as long as this is running, where I do new and I just skip the demo or skip the intro. Yeah. And then wait, what if I save now? Yeah. That'll test this. Now we go find the save data. Oh, we're not there anymore. Save.json. Achievements. One is broken dreams. Yeah, that's correct. Should award it after the sound effect plays out. Looked like it awarded it at the start of the death animation. Yeah, that we could potentially change. I don't know if we can wait for the whole sound effect to play out. Or at least not easily, maybe. Because we have the play sound. And then play animation death. We could figure out when that animation is done. Character.animation. Isn't there like a... What is the main character? Intro main character? No 2D? Okay, so we need a... like when animation is done, which is from its animated sprite. Great. I wonder if I should just make this public. Just access it directly. We could just put it in a, like, run on animation. Or, you know what, just play animation could have a callback. An action, question mark, on animation finished. Yeah. Animation. What? It's got a signal for this. I just don't know what it's called. Look for the little lightning bolt. Oh, no, it's on the animated sprite. What am I talking about? Animated sprite 2D, animation finished. It's lowercase. There, we finally got it. And I should put that in first in case the animation is instantaneous, which it shouldn't be. And then this comes from system. And then we put that in here. So we... Oh my god, really? Oh, we have this here, I guess. So then we pass in this and call watch to your own death. All right, now why is that red? Cannot convert from string to animation name? What's the difference? Oh, what? What happened here? There's another animation? Oh, no, there's this. And this is what I want to modify. Okay, let's modify that one then. There. Easy. Okay, so now this shouldn't be a problem. Now, fade functions that fade out. I just forgot a parenthesis or something, right? I deleted something. What did this used to be? Oh, is this me just typing something extra at the end? Okay. All right, well then I guess we try it again. And see if the timing feels a little bit better. Oh, now it's going to skip the intro though, right? So we need to go to feature flags and turn the debug thing off. Yeah, watch your own death. Yeah, I should change that to like watched main character die or something. So I'll speed this up a little bit. We'll go to like 2x. Oh, I'm on a debug build, so I can't speed it up at all. All right, we'll just watch it one more time. If the timing wasn't important, I would just do this at the beginning of the intro, but we do need to see how it fits in with the rest of this stuff. Thankfully, it's not too much longer from now, maybe like 15 more seconds. I'm gonna turn up the sound for myself. Really should have had a breakpoint in there, huh? Really should have. Because for all I know, animation finish never actually happened. Or something else went wrong. Yeah, I never tried granting the achievement this time, which is what should happen here. So it probably never called this function. Which, yeah. Oh, man. We have an animation finish thing somewhere else, don't we? Yeah, here. Yeah, man. We could also just delay this a little bit and then not do anything too crazy about this. Because, yeah, I don't think I want this here. So, yeah, play out the death animation. And then we need to do this at some point. We could just make a tween that delays it by like 1/4 of a second or something. I think I'm just gonna leave this for now. Yeah, I'll just leave this for now. I think we should probably improve the timing later. But I don't think I want to do that right this second. Okay, this is good. This shouldn't have changed. This whole file shouldn't have changed, yeah. All right, so commit that. Oh my goodness, it's noon or thereabouts. So which other achievements do we still have to do that I didn't do? All of them? These? Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get done with this stuff. That intro one just took so long. Well, maybe we do those tomorrow then. Yeah, I'll add in this for Wednesday. Finish the achievements. Let's fill out the journal. Oops. Added some, or like, yeah, figured out which achievements I'd be making and started making them. The intro one where you die took a long time. All right, now we can move that up there. Publish a new demo and playtest with the bug fixes I did. I wonder when I should do that. Translation stuff. I'll do the translation stuff this afternoon. Reach out to playtesters. Probably should publish a new version then. Yeah. Let's go here. All right, I've got a lot to do this afternoon. I think we can get done with all this tomorrow. There's no way it's going to take 6 hours to do this. There's really only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's only 8 categories of things. And some of them are pretty simple. It's like, did you get enough gold in this file? We might need to change the save file to keep track of that, maybe. But yeah, I'm hoping it's not too bad. Actually, yeah. May need cumulative gold for this. All right, but then what do we have afterward? Yeah, I want to figure out, how do we even figure out that controller problem on Linux? I think I would need a Linux build somehow. I guess we have the Steam Deck, but it'd be nice to develop on Linux. I wonder if we could run a Linux VM. I'd probably have to do that off stream. Amount of times I spent days on there's no way it'll take more than 6 hours. Yeah, and I recognize what I'm saying when I say that, and that, oh, if it does take longer, it's going to be silly sounding afterward. But at least my estimation ahead of time is that this stuff shouldn't be too complex. I just want to see what the rest of tomorrow would be. Yeah. All right. I'll find out more. I want to take a little bit of time just to mention that I do need some help with translations for these languages. Actually, let me put it this way: these languages, the ones that are highlighted. So if anyone in chat can help with Italian, German, simplified Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Brazilian Portuguese, do let me know. It doesn't necessarily need to be a lot. The details are in here. Probably get away from booting from USB. I think maybe I could get a VM set up. I just need to be able to run Skeleseller in it and then like send controller input to it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the best way to do this would be. Maybe I could set up a dual boot partition on my Windows machine. Yeah. I'm Portuguese. Brazilian Portuguese or European? Because I only plan on doing Brazilian Portuguese. Apparently the mark of that is bigger. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what European Portuguese is in terms of like percentage of Steam players. There's probably a way to figure that out. Can you just do WSL? Yeah, although then I need to be on my Windows machine. Well, actually, no, I probably can't because I need it to be a Linux window manager, not just the subsystem. Portugal always, yeah, I know. I'm Dutch. Everyone here would play in English anyway. Yeah, which is why Dutch isn't listed as one of the languages. I actually got a lot of volunteers for Dutch, and it's just a language I don't really need volunteers for, unfortunately. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get going. I will go find someone to raid really fast on Twitch. Let's raid Tim. Okay, thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a full day of streaming. And I think we're going to work on achievement stuff. And then what? Who knows? So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Take care, everybody. See you later.